fucking thing going? Oh, there it is. All right, folks, you're listening to the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast with Vito D'Amico, and today I've got a guest that I absolutely love watching his videos, and the reason why I love watching him is the passion that goes into these videos, and to me, that means everything. When somebody does something and they put passion into it, and it's the truth. I'm sorry if you think it's not. I don't know what to say to you. It's confusing. But a guy that I look up to and I absolutely love his videos, and he doesn't hold back. It's the non-believer. Everybody, say hi, non-believer.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? The non-believer.
It's the non-believer. And when I
That's
mean,
funny. You call it passion, but some people would call it me being a dick. But
no,
hey,
no, no.
each their
People,
own.
but you know what the problem is? People. You remind me a lot of a Devin Tracy, where what will happen is, people, because you're confident, and this is the way I see it, because you're confident and the way you come across, people go, he's being a dick. But it's like, no, listen to what he's saying. You don't, you don't. I don't understand when I've watched several of your vids, and there's no bullshit there. It's just straightforward. Hey, this is the way it is. And I just talked to you a second ago about it. You need so many more subs because I think the people don't like the truth. People think the world is fucking lollipop and rainbows. And
Right.
when you start telling them the truth of the way things are, it bugs them. And they don't want, they don't want that. And I think, no, everybody thinks that we should all hold hands and sing kumbaya and everything will be fine. And, you're racist, you're Islamophobic, don't you understand that you need a hug? And
Well,
that terrifies me.
listen. I grew up from a lower class family, and I was in the military for 8 years. I mean, I played football for 10 years, and I've had a lot of people in my face yelling at me, and it worked with me. Being loud and upfront and not sugarcoating stuff and telling people how it is, that always worked for me. So, that's how I learned, and that's how I relay the information. Because the things I talk about, to me, they are very important. I mean, I point out things like criminal culture in black communities. I point out problems in Islam. I talk about the sensitive topics that typically white people in America or in the West shy away from. You know,
Yeah. And don't you
those are the topics that go right
Yeah,
to.
you go right at its heart. And why do people? I mean, I see you talk about this stuff, and I love it because I think people need to open up their eyes and stop walking around blind. Um, and it's not a paranoia. I'm not saying people are like, oh fuck, these guys are paranoid. These guys are you kidding me? What was it fucking last week? 50 people got blown to shit because of what? Because he the book that he believed in, and we all know the book that he read that he believed
Well,
in.
they say homophobia. But
No, they're turning it to homophobia.
yeah, it was his religion
Yes,
that caused the homophobia.
exactly. If his religion said respect all gays, he'd have no reason to do that, right?
Right.
There would be no mass shooting. But they are turning. I just watched a show where they turned everything around. They're like, we don't want to put a broad brush on it. Not all. Every time I hear the word "not all," I want to like throw up and shit my pants at the first time. It's like, shut up. Like, everyone gets it, okay? Not all. Like, fuck off, for real. Not all. But there is a huge number of them, let's say 20 to 25%, which is proven. These are not numbers I'm pulling out of my ass. 20 to 25% want to see our civilization turn to shit.
Go back to the 7th century.
Yes, and that is reality. That's not bullshit. This happened in France. This happened in Belgium. This happened in England. This has happened in the U.S. There's no other culture that does that. There's no other religion that does that. Okay, I don't see Portuguese people or Polish people or people from fucking Magnolia doing these things, Allah Akbar, and blowing themselves up. It seems
Yeah.
to be, and what freaks me out, I just saw a video, a guy that I know, and you ever get somebody that you thought was cool, and then they leave a stupid remark, and you just go, fuck, that was painful.
Of course, man. That's every day.
Yeah.
But
So he left this remark of these three guys walk into like a, I don't know, like a bowling alley or casino. They walk in there with guns drawn, bags on their faces, and a senior citizen pulls out his gun and starts shooting them, and they run away. And everybody, all these white guys start going, that man was crazy. The old man just wanted to shoot people. That old man, okay, I guarantee you, was in World War II. That old man knows the sickness that goes in people's minds. I can't, like.
is this recent?
This is recent.
Wow, I didn't hear about.
Yeah. It was so. He shoots them. They run away, and the guy that I thought had a brain says, "Man, the old man was just looking for an excuse just to shoot these people." And I'm like, are you fucking crazy? First of all, we didn't know if the people were black or white, okay? So it had nothing to do with race, because their faces were completely covered up and they were wearing gloves. Secondly, okay, you can't read people's minds. If you're sitting there with your family and a group of people come in with guns drawn, what do you think? Do you think, no, man, they just want our wallets and that'll be it? You can't read my fucking mind. You don't know what I'm up to, okay? You don't know if I'm gonna
jacked up on bath salts.
Yeah, you don't know. So to me, Grandpa was a hero, okay? I'm like, I want to go where Grandpa goes, okay? Anytime I go to a restaurant and Grandpa's there, I'll feel a little more relaxed, okay?
So you're pro gun, obviously.
Well, no, not really. I don't think everybody needs a fucking gun. I mean, but the point being, you're not going to get rid of these guns, okay? I'm sorry, you're not. There's just too many, okay? Now, if somebody had a gun there at the club, which I wish somebody had a gun to blow this fucking imbecile's head off, I wish that there was somebody with a gun there. But there,
he exchanged fire with an armed security guard out front.
He did?
Yeah.
Shit, I didn't know that.
But he got past and got into the club.
Like he shot the guy dead?
No, I don't. No, he didn't. No, I'm not really sure, but I'm pretty positive that he exchanged gunfire with either an undercover police officer who was off duty or a security guard or something like that.
But non-believer, that's what I mean. You don't know. Like if we go somewhere, I mean, you really don't know me, right? So
Right.
You cannot read my mind. If I walked into your house with a gun, okay?
I would shoot you in your fucking face.
Exactly. Exactly. What are you gonna say? You're gonna sit there and go, I got my family. I don't know what this guy's up to. I don't know.
I have two children.
Exactly.
And,
Fuck, what is the problem with people? Have everybody turned into fucking vaginas? You know?
I do own a 20 gauge shotgun that I've had since I was 12.
Well,
I mean,
but that's the point. Nobody knew that this guy that went into the Florida gay club there, nobody could read his mind. I heard that he's been there a couple of times, and I don't know, maybe he was kind of gay, or I don't know what the fuck. He's just a weirdo, or I don't know. But he shows up there with guns, starts shooting people. I'm sure when you're there at a club, you don't know what people are up to, okay? You have no idea, okay?
I think it just happens so fast.
Yeah.
The lights are dark in a club. You got flashing lights everywhere, loud music. People are half drunk, and you're probably rolling off of ecstasy.
Yeah, people thought that it was the music. When they heard the banging, they thought it was the music.
The DJ,
So they thought that it was part of the music, right? So people weren't necessarily running because they thought, something must have happened with the music or whatever. But I mean, I don't think people understand. I mean, go on YouTube, watch people getting shot by an AK-47. or whatever gun. Watch the hole it makes in their head. Watch how gruesome that is. Okay, this is what is going on every day. Okay, you have this culture of they want to destroy the rest of the world. Okay, they wanted to be Sharia law. Okay, I mean they walked in France to people cartoonists, and killed these cartoonists. And what do idiots say? What do they say? They say
They
they
shouldn't have
should.
drawn the
Yeah.
prophet and offended them.
Yes. And I find that repulsive. You
Yeah,
know,
it is, man. It
how the
is.
fuck do you come up with that? Do you know what? Could you imagine the horror of some fucking loser coming into a building with guns, and you don't have no guns, you got nothing on you, okay? And this imbecile is shooting at you, okay? Could you imagine? And then please tell me the next day what you think about their religion if you survive, okay? I guarantee you would totally be, no, fuck this religion, fuck this, this has got to stop. And I guarantee you, anybody that's been in that situation, that's the first thing they think of. It's some terrorist. He thinks he's gonna get some virgins. He's gonna, his people. You know, when they kill themselves, they throw a party for this idiot. Do you know his father was happy that this happened? His father oh, this was gays shouldn't be gays. Like your
Yeah.
son just murdered.
You know the Paris attacks, 113, 114 people were killed.
Yeah,
The band that was there, I think it's like Eagles of Death Metal or something.
yeah.
The lead singer, he survived the incident, but he had a front row seat of what happened.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he came out and is highly against Islam, rightfully so. And media all across the fucking world is labeling this guy an Islamophobe and a racist and a bigot, and because he comes out and speaks out against Islam, and all of a sudden he's a bigot.
Yeah, and do you know he had to remove he had to go, was it him that had to remove pieces of, there was a girl that ran in front of him, and she got her head blown off, and pieces of her skull ended up in his cheek.
I heard that, but I'm not sure if it was him or not. Maybe.
But you can just imagine, okay? I think it was Gavin McGinnis that talked about that, saying that something like that happened, where a fragment of the kid's head or whatever girl was there, her skull, exploded, and it ended up as shrapnel in another person's face, which is horrific. So
Yeah.
this is where we're at, and we still have this. I mean, I know you got a lot of flack. You get tons of flack, and I just told
Yeah.
you. I told you a second ago. I had some idiot too, that will just bombard you and just say something like, "You're a racist. You're a bigot. You're a fucking asshole. Fuck you." I don't know. They don't want to have a conversation. They don't want the truth.
Check this out, Vito. Oh, by the way, I love your name, man. You sound like a villain to a movie or something. Vito D'Amico. I don't know. You just sound like the bad guy in a movie.
I wish I'd make money, man.
Right. But check this out. I am under attack right now, literally from hundreds of Muslims and Muslim
Yes.
sympathizers on the internet.
Yeah.
Because of my last two videos, especially my most recent video. If you go to that video, if you click on newest comments, you'll just see hundreds of comments telling me to kill myself, death threats towards me,
Yeah.
racist, call me a racist Trump supporter, call me a white faggot,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
name it, they said it to me.
Yeah.
All because I made a video about a popular Muslim YouTuber.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I'm doing a video right now on how sensitive Muslims are. They
They're-
make up 0.9% of our population in the U.S. And if you speak out against their religion, criticize it in basically any way, you are a bigot. And there's so many people that run to their defense. It's disgusting, man.
Well, I'm going to link up that video that you're talking about, because the video that you're talking about, the guy, first of all, is a little coward, and he is a coward. Okay,
Yeah.
uh, saying that his religion is peace is bullshit. Okay, and he knows that, and Muslims know that more than anything else. They know that. Okay,
Yeah.
what they do is they see dumb white people. People, no, you don't have to be white. You can be a black dumb person too, whatever. You can go on the bandwagon and say what you just said was wrong, and I'll tell you it's not wrong. Okay, how is it not wrong? Do you not watch the news? Do you not see what's going on? When somebody is blown to shit for religion and thinking they're going to make Allah happy is sick, is absolutely repulsive.
All
And
they say is though, those aren't true Muslims. That's what they always say.
well, how
That's
come?
their
How
only
come?
defense.
Okay, well then, how come Catholics? If Catholics are doing this, and Catholics were doing this, and I'm not Catholic, I was, but I would go out there and I would go to the churches and just say, "This will never happen again." We had a Catholic guy come out, fly his plane into a building, killing thousands of people. Okay, we have a huge problem with our religion. We have people that take it literally, take this medieval book that was written by a pedophile, a guy who slept with a 9-year-old child. Okay, and we are now going to defend him. You cannot draw him. It's like, I don't know. It's like your imaginary friend that you're sticking up for. It's very weird. Okay, and these people. Okay, whatever you want to do in your own culture, I don't give a shit. Go do whatever the fuck, believe whatever you want. But if your religion affects me, affects my culture, I don't want it. Okay, I would go to my church and just say, this will never happen again. We have to go to all Catholic churches and tell them the exact same thing. All churches have to talk to each other. This will never happen. The priest has to make sure that this does not happen. And Muslims need to go to every mosque and go, listen, this needs to stop. No more of this killing. No more of this bullshit. Okay, and there are mosques that do that. That say this is not the way to be. This is not the way to behave. But there are so many other ones, and all it takes is one, where you have people that literally believe what the teacher is saying. Take whatever he's saying and take it as the meaning of what God is saying, and these people put it in their hearts and say, yes, this is, it's good to do this, to kill in the name of Allah. If you offend him, it's okay to beat your
Look at
wife. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many
yeah.
fucked up things in it that, as a rational person, when you stand back and you weren't brought up in that culture, you would think, this is fucked up.
Look at what Western people did to the Catholic Church when the whole pedophile scam was coming out.
Right.
They nailed them to the cross. I mean, they fucking made meme after meme after meme of
Right.
pedophile priests and stuff in the Catholic Church, and like it was the worst thing in the world. So, like you can't think of Catholic nowadays without thinking about
Yes.
the boy touching the little
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah. It's that
you
big.
can't think about
Yeah.
it. So this is from so-called progressives in America and in the West. They are the ones who led this charge with that. Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. That was disgusting. It was crazy that the Catholic Church was hiding that. But these same people who nailed the Catholics to the cross, they are the ones who stick up for Islam whenever there's fucking mass murders taking place every day.
Yes. And
The
it's
same people, Vito.
I know, and it's just, to me, it is so draining. It's just you just sit there and like, you watch these videos where people will say absolutely ridiculous things, and you just sit there and go, how did you, like, am I, like, I sit there and go, am I, like, I'm not paranoid. You just killed people. That's not paranoia, okay? You killing people for your religion, something is fucking wrong with you, okay? Something is seriously wrong with you. I saw a video of a guy in North America. It looked like in a mall, and I'm sure you've seen this where the guy stands up and goes, "Okay, who here believes that, Allah, if you're gay, you deserve to go to hell?" And all these people put up their hands. You know, okay, who believes that the Quran is the word of God, and whatever the Quran says is what we have to do? Who believes that? And all these fucking guys put up their hands, and it's all filmed in America.
Right.
And I'm thinking, why aren't they in jail? Like, well, what? Like, why? You cannot like, you can't sit there. I can't go to a mall and sit there and tell people on the street corner, start telling them, kill gays, kill white people that don't believe in Allah, kill.
No, you can say that, Vito.
Yeah, but you should be arrested for that, because if we did that in their country, your head would be taken off.
Oh, of course, man, of course.
So what's the double standard there? I don't understand how we've ended up like
well,
these
it's the same
fucking
freedom that allows the Hebrew Israelites, the black guys that stand on the corner and call people faggots and tell them that they're going to be have their head smited off their necks. Those same people, they're allowed to say that.
Well, cool. Say it. Now, what happens is the police need to be informed by you. You need to be
right.
You need to be watched. Like this guy that
I agree with that for sure.
And that's just the way it is, man. If you're gonna act like a fucking imbecile, okay, then guess what? You are going to be, eyes are going to be on you now. There was this imbecile in London, England, that went around and told people your English are a joke. We are going to take over. And I'm sitting there going, how do you let this clown of a fucking half man in your country? I mean, if that was, it's straightforward, and people think I'm like an asshole, but this is, which I am, but once the refugee shit is over, okay, once your country has been stabilized, wherever it came from, you're going to be put into a fucking bus and dropped off there, okay? You're done in my country. There's no more, okay? We can't
assimilate or get the fuck out.
Exactly. Either you behave normally. And when I mean normal, that means don't act like a fucking dick, okay? Act like, assimilate. If I lived in Germany, I would, believe me, in a year I would know how to speak German. I would work. I would do this. I would do that. I would do anything. I wouldn't be sitting there on their welfare system. I wouldn't be hanging out at the mall all day, scaring the women that want to go shopping, make them feel uncomfortable. No, I would be part of their society. Okay, so when they come and people are like, "Ooh, that's racist," they come. Yeah, what else am I gonna call them? Fucking sheep? When they come and they don't want to do anything but just hang around and get fucking paychecks for sitting around and smoking cigarettes and staring at fucking chicks all day, then no, it's time to get on the bus. You get on the bus and you get the fuck out. We bring you to the border, and that's it. You're done. Okay? I'm sick and tired of this shit.
Let's talk about the not all thing again, because I have something I want to say about that. Devin Tracy put out that shirt. That not all shirt.
Yeah.
I got one of them, and that's like the phrase of this year for sure.
Yes, it is.
In my most recent video, I said 2 or 3 times very plainly, no, not all Muslims are terrorists. And I said, but 99% of terrorism
is Muslim.
Comes from Muslims.
Yeah.
And people cannot comprehend that sentence. They still take it as me saying 99% of Muslims are terrorists. And that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
fucking,
You
they're
know
just
what's
so
weird?
ignorant.
You know what they'll sit there and say? They'll sit there and go, "Well, what about the guy, the white Christian guy, that killed the abortion clinic in 1984?"
Yeah, that's the year I was born.
Like,
Wow.
could you just think about that? Just think about. First time I heard that, my brain popped out of my head, did a somersault, and then went back in my fucking head. First time I heard that.
Or bringing up the KKK.
Or bringing up the KKK. You're as
Yeah.
bad as the KKK. And
Do you know Chicago, black on black crime? There have been more murders in the last 2 years, I believe, than the entire 80-year existence or whatever of the KKK combined.
right.
So black people have murdered more black people in just Chicago in the
Yeah.
last 2 years than the KKK's entire history.
But this is what I don't like, and I wanted to talk to you about this, and just to get your opinion on this. And this is what I think, okay? And disagree or whatever. I don't know, but I see it as this. I see that okay, blacks were mistreated 100 years ago. Okay, they had to drink from different fountains. I get it. I wasn't there. I got to go by the history books. Okay, and then now for some reason, like I just watched a video where they arrested. It was one of your videos where the woman was being arrested, and they were all yelling. She just stole. She didn't pay for her food. It was a dine and dash. Okay.
Right, right.
So they they're all screaming. She's only 120 pounds, and the officers
Yeah.
are trying to arrest her. To me, it just seems like an excuse to act like an idiot. It's constantly being the victim. I'm the victim. Don't you understand? Like, you are arresting me because I'm black, and I think that's horrible. Like, have a little more respect for yourself. Okay? Don't play. You're constantly playing the victim card. Okay? And that's what I see. I just see that, son, why didn't you get the job? It's because I'm black. And it's like, okay, maybe that's true, but maybe it's just because they found somebody more qualified than you. Okay?
I grew up around as many black people as
Me,
any other
me
race.
too. Me too.
I was in their homes, eating dinner with them,
Right.
hanging out. They were my friends. I was close to a lot of them. And the things that I would hear, it didn't really set in when I was a child, but I would hear their parents always talking about race, like, get your little black ass over here. It's race was always at the forefront of their mind. And I've heard it so many times in my life, that, oh, it's the white man's fault, and
Yeah.
they try to cast blame on the white man for everything. I mean, yes, everybody knows the history, but
Yeah.
you're exactly right with the whole victim mentality thing. That's
But don't you find it?
basically
Is
what it all
that just
comes
me?
down to.
Am I being a dick? Because that's the way I feel. I feel like it's just this constant. I'm the victim. Don't you get it? Look what you're doing to our culture.
Muslims do the same thing
Yes.
in America and in the
Yes.
West.
And try and do that there. Non-believer, try and do that there. See what happens. Okay?
Right.
You get your fucking head taken off. Your head comes off your body. Okay? There's no question what will happen to you over there. Over here, people get away with the most ridiculous things. We have a society that we could, it's your right to act like an asshole. Okay? Absolutely your right. You could do whatever you want. Okay? But once you start threatening and acting like a fool, eyes are going to be on you. They could still be on you. Over there, say the wrong thing. Just say the wrong thing. Okay? It's like the Gestapo. Somebody will come to your door. You will be arrested. You will go to jail. Your family will not see you. And in 3 days, your head will be fucking removed from your body. Okay? That's just the way it is. Okay? You broke you broke the law.
All these young Muslim kids and a lot of young black kids, they didn't get to experience what their like the Muslims. They didn't get to experience what their home country
Right.
was like. They were born in America. they're told all these things. America, all the atrocities. America caused ISIS. Everything is America's fault.
Yeah.
So they don't realize how bad it is, basically in everywhere else in all their countries. And the same with black people. Like the most respectful black people that I've come across in my life have been the older ones.
Yes.
The ones in their 60s, 70s, and they appreciate how life is now. But it seems like the younger generation, they're the ones fueling all this victim mentality thing.
Yeah, like there was that one woman you made the video of that she just, to me, she just seemed like a complete and utter, she just wanted to make problems. Oh, Jasmine or something.
Yeah, Jasmine Richards. Yeah, Black Lives
Jasmine
Matter,
Richards.
Pasadena.
Jesus almighty. She's fucking just a clown of a woman.
She was facing 4 years, and everybody was freaking out. She was facing 4 years for felony lynching. She only got 90 days.
Yeah, I don't understand what that lynching, isn't lynching hanging somebody?
No. What lynching meant in California state law, it meant if you try to forcefully remove somebody under police custody from police, that's lynching. It doesn't have anything to do with hanging, but it sounds so bad because
it does.
Everybody thinks lynching, I mean hanging.
Yeah.
Because people would used to lynch, would go, like a white mob would go storm a prison and get a black man that raped a white girl, and they would snatch him from prison. They would overwhelm the security at the prison.
Oh,
and then they would drag him to the nearest tree and hang him.
Yeah.
Street justice.
It's called a lynching.
But,
yeah,
but it happened to white people too. White people, they didn't just do it to black people. I know several stories that I found doing my research.
Yeah, me too.
Where white people were lynched by white people.
Yes, and that's just the way it was. One of my favorite movies is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and they would hang. Fuck, if you you did anything back then, they didn't care what color you were. If you fucked with people's money, you'd be hanging from a tree. This is the research that I looked into, that black slaves, and I know we're all over the place, but I just that's just the way I am. But the black slaves were treated better than the white slaves because the white slaves were only around for 7 years. Once their contract was up, okay, they could go. So you would work the shit out of a white guy. The white guy would do the most dangerous shit, okay? Because you have the black slave for the longest time. You know what I mean? Like one was more important than the other. And in this case, the black slave was more important than the white one. The white one, you would work him to death.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
But when they showed pictures of cotton pickers, they never show pictures of white cotton pickers. Out there, the children were white, harsh conditions, same shit. It's just if you didn't have money back then, dude, it sucked. Okay, that's just the way it was. It didn't matter if you're black or white. If you didn't have money, your life was going to be shit.
Yeah, you lived in a small little shack.
Yeah.
You had a little garden or a little small farm with
if you're lucky. If you're lucky, Yeah. I mean, that's the way it is. And
it was like 1% owned slaves. I mean,
I know.
Like that, 1 or 2%.
I know. That's the thing that that's what freaked me out the most was that only 1% owned slaves. Because when I was growing up, the way TV made it seem like that every white person owned a slave. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like everybody back then owned a slave. Like if you watch TV, everybody had a black maid. Everybody owned. But it was like you got to think of it as this way: as the only people that could own another person back then were like today's multi-millionaires. You needed to own a huge plantation, a lot of land. You needed money, man. That's it. I mean,
when you talk about slavery to basically anybody in the world, the first thing they think of is whites owning blacks in America.
Yes.
That's what the whole world thinks of. But nobody talks about slavery in the Islamic world. Nobody talks about white slaves. Nobody even mentions the fact that whites freed slaves. They don't give a fuck about that. Black people didn't free the slaves. It was the white people that stepped up and said, look, we ain't doing this anymore.
Yeah, but it was black people that were capturing other black people to send to slaves, right?
Of course. Yeah,
so it was like, give me a break, man. You had good Nazis and you had bad Nazis, okay? So give me a fucking break. You had good people, bad people back then, and you had black people that were purposely capturing other black people for money, okay, and giving them to white people or whoever. I mean, the word slave and comes from the Slavic word. It's from there were white slaves. That's where when Rome took over Gaul or whatever, they were white people. Slaves have been around since man. The first time a guy fucking. How
do you think the pyramids were built?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much. Slaves have been around for well over 5,000 years. Okay, so this whole notion of it's just the United States that did this. I mean, right now, and I don't know if this is a fact or not, but I believe it. There are more slaves now than there were back then by underground people purchasing other people. It's pretty sick. Okay. I mean, you look at the Philippines.
It wouldn't surprise me because the world population is an order of magnitude higher, or 10 orders of magnitude.
Yeah, and like if you look at Thailand or the Philippines, they treat little girls there like street meat. Okay, you don't know. Like over here, if a kid goes missing, it'll make the news here. Over there, children go missing all the time. You don't hear shit, right. and it's just the society we live in. And if you have money, you get everything. If you don't have money, you get nothing. And I don't think these little kids want to be prostitutes or being sold to fucking sick men. You think they want that? Fuck these kids. They're children, for fuck's sakes. But that's just the sick society we live in today, and that's something that you bring forward, and that's why I enjoy your work, is because you show the true side of society. This is I mean, the one video you did where the shop owner, the person came in just being calling she was the poor guy. They pretty much.
He didn't have the correct amount of money to buy the product. Yeah.
But they absolutely fucking tortured this guy's business. Okay? Yeah. Where he had no choice, and I felt it, where he had no choice to go and apologize to the person that has been driving their business crazy, and I find that disgusting.
I know what video you're talking about. You're talking about the one I did on Black Hitler.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah.
So that weird looking dude, how nobody broke his jaw is
Gazi Code.
Yeah, that fucking weirdo. But you see the trouble he created.
He lives like 30 miles from me.
Well, we should go find him and beat the shit out of him.
Oh man, I think I'll probably pass on that.
Well, whatever. If you ever change your mind, I mean. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing about your videos are, they're reality, and that's what I enjoy about them. There is this, hey guys, it's like we constantly have to apologize to say, hey, I'm sorry about your feelings, But hey, if you're acting the wrong way, and they're like, well, who are you to say how we're supposed to act? Well, you fucking shooting people is the I think one of the worst things you can do when you belittle others, when others come forward and say what you're doing is wrong, and then you yell out, well, you're being racist. We have been so brainwashed by that word. As soon as I talk to you, if we did this interview right now and I go, non-believer, you're racist, That's all people are going to pick up on.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
all.
I'm probably being called a racist right now, right
Well, of
this very
course,
second.
yeah. Yeah, of course. But look at the video. All I'm saying is really look at what you're looking at, okay? Don't be a follower. And I hate people that follow others that just like fucking sheep. Go be a wolf, man. Go look at this stuff yourself. Sit there, look at it, and then you come up with your own conclusion, okay?
Yeah.
And that's
I,
all. That's all. That's all you can do.
I shout a lot and I curse quite a bit, and I don't speak like that in my everyday conversations, but when I'm talking about these subjects, I take it personal. I mean, so I have a lot of emotion, and if people can just get past the shouting and actually listen to what I'm saying, maybe it might set in a little bit.
The shouting's fine, man. I'll tell you that right now. The
Yeah,
shouting the
yeah, it might be to
shouting
you, but
is
so many people are like, "Oh my God, he's yelling! Oh no, I
so
can't!"
what? So what? I come from an Italian family. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right?
Yelling is like past the salt. My wife, the first time, she's whiter than fucking bread, and she just she thought we were getting into an argument. She's like, "Why is your mom and dad yelling at each other?" And I'm like, he's just telling her to pass the fucking salt, you know. That's how we talk. So
Oh, I can picture that.
yeah.
That's really funny.
So you have that there is that side. I think the people that watch you are kind of whitey, kind of like, why is he yelling? But I think there's a passion there that people need to have in life. If you don't have that, you got nothing, man. Okay? So who gives a fuck if you yell or you're putting your passion? That's you. When you give a shit about something, that's you coming out. When you sit there like a robot, okay? You ever see like Steve Pinkerton?
Yeah.
Okay, that guy creeps me out. Okay, he is a robot. Like I just everything that like he is like Dummerall. That guy will put me to sleep. If
Hold
I
on. I think. Are you talking about the scientist?
no, not the scientist. The what's his name?
Oh, his name is Steve Pinker, I think.
Yeah, Steve Pinker. But he's like he is so incredibly boring.
Yeah.
Right? He's just a fucking robot. And I'm thinking, how do you get your point across, man? Like, how do you, I mean, I swear a lot, but, and, my wife's like, you don't need to swear all the time, but that's just, that's just the way I am. I'm sorry. Now, if I'm talking to a little kid, I don't do that. I dumb it down. But your videos are adult videos. You're not going to have 5-year-olds watching your videos. You're going to have adult people that have seen the world and can understand what is right, what is wrong, and can decipher shit. So I wouldn't even fucking worry about the yelling part. That's the best part to me. It's like, fucking wake up, people.
You know what the problem is, Vito? Okay, people like us, we are content creators. We're on social media a lot. We watch a lot of YouTube videos about things that are happening in the world. So we're pretty up to date with a lot of things. So we have very strong opinions on a lot of stuff. Well, a lot of people who come to our videos or hear us speak or hear your podcast and they hear some of the things we're saying, these are the people that they watch PewDiePie play video games all day on YouTube. And they don't talk about these subjects ever. So when there's a terrorist attack and then a popular Muslim that they like to watch on YouTube because he's funny says that Islam is peace and terrorism has no religion, when these people hear that from this guy with 4 million subscribers, they soak that in, and that's all they know. So they go out into the world and attack people trying to speak out against this, and these are the people that are calling us racist.
Yeah,
the
but
people that are not clued in. They have no fucking idea about any of this.
But
they think they do, but they don't.
But you know what freaks me out? How many times can you go to the well? You know, I mean, this happened in the States. Last time it was in Brussels. Before that was Paris. And then I believe Pakistan got nailed hard. How many times can you go to the well and say, hey, but this is a peaceful religion. There's only a few people that go cuckoo. I mean, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Watch as many documentaries as you can on ISIS or Islam. Watch it. It will scare the fuck out of you. When they have a child, a little kid, and his whole book is reading the Quran every day, rocking back and forth. Tell me that doesn't fuck up his head. A child. Okay, you know, this is child abuse. Okay, no, this is from the Prophet Muhammad, and that's child abuse. You're fucking with that kid's head. Okay, if you're a loser, you're a loser. Don't fuck with the kid. Okay, if you want to believe in bullshit and act like a fucking moron, do it on your own time. Don't spread your stupidity to fucking children. Okay, and that is the sickness. That's when I watch these and why I get riled up or pissed off. It's like you are damaging these kids. These fucking kids are being taught how to use a gun, okay? Are being taught, hate the Jew. You see, you know what's a good Jew? A dead Jew. This is what you're teaching fucking kids? That? You're teaching them that?
It's wild, man.
It's sick, man. And it's absolutely fucking disgusting. And then when we sit there and say, we you know, you show these things, and then people say, you're racist, non-believer. You're racist. Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
There's some sheik, he's from Saudi Arabia, he commented on my video yesterday, I believe. This guy, you know, he wears the full sheik outfit, you know how they look.
Yeah.
And
Like,
he tells me, he noticed that I used the phrase, oh my God, quite often.
right.
And he said, you say you call yourself the non-believer, but it's obvious that God's got your tongue. And I said, check this out, man. You know why I use this term? It's because I was indoctrinated as a child.
Yeah.
This was pounded into my head. I said, we don't force our kids to be a Democrat when they're 4 years old or a Republican. So why force them to believe in a religion? Because that's what happens. So
yes. I know
it's
exactly.
So deep
I know
in my vocabulary.
Yes.
That's why I say it. I mean, it has nothing to do with
I say
supernatural deity.
Yeah, I say Jesus Christ, and everybody knows. Like I'm an atheist, but I was brought up, and I always say Jesus Christ, like just Jesus Christ, you know. And I'll still wish people. I mean, I had Aaron Ra on, and at the end, I get these comments saying, "But you wished him a Merry Christmas," and I thought, so what? The fuck do I? It's still Merry Christmas. What do you think I'm gonna say? Happy Festivus? What the fuck do you think I'm gonna say? You know, if it's Christmas, it's Christmas. If it's Easter, what do you think? I you know, I don't. Happy Easter. Well, okay, great. Happy Halloween. The fuck do I care? It's just a word. You know, I don't care. Okay.
Christmas has changed, even to a lot of Christians.
Yes,
Christmas
but
is
we're
not
still
what it used to be. You know, it's all about the fat jolly man in the red suit who comes down the chimney and brings gifts to every boy and girl in the world.
It's Christmas is a fucking, as you get older, it's a nightmare. You realize, shit, I gotta make more money. Fucking kid wants this. I'm gonna have to buy this. I gotta get this. You gotta shop around like a miserable fuck. Christmas has turned into. Christmas was great. Christmas is really just for kids and women that have husbands that have a lot of money. Okay, that's all Christmas is for. Okay, because Christmas for a normal white guy is hell. Okay,
normal white guy.
It is. It's complete fucking hell. Okay, you gotta go get this. You gotta. I hate malls. Gotta go shopping. Gotta walk in. You know, I love, like, if I buy a pair of jeans, I just walk in there, get my Levi's. I say, that's my size. Good, give them to me. I don't sit there and go, get me this. Here, let me try these Gucci's. Let me try this. You know, I just don't. Okay.
It's basically extortion at gunpoint.
It's bullshit. Okay. It's complete horse shit. Okay. Because kids these days, look at when I was a kid. Okay. I was born in I was born in 1970. Okay. So I am 15 years older than you. I remember how it was when I was a kid. Okay, if I got, every year I'd get 3 presents. That was the max. Okay, 3 presents. That's it. Okay, and if they had if you had, they said, non-believer. That'd be cool if you were a kid and your name was non-believer. But if they said non-believer is having a birthday party, I'd go, great. I would go to your house and sit around and have a juice, if that. Okay. These days, you got to rent a fucking theater. You've got to rent you got to have a play date. You got to buy cards. You gotta fucking.
Yeah.
It's you got to blow. You need to buy a DQ cake. You need to buy this. You need to buy. They need handbags when they're done, saying, "Hey, thanks for coming." You give them these fucking $50 gift cards for Toys R Us, and it's society. Non-believer has turned into horse shit. Okay, we've turned into this materialistic clowns. Okay, I enjoy when people just say thank you. I love giving gifts. I hate receiving. Okay, I love if somebody goes. I love the look on somebody's face.
You're a pitcher, not a catcher.
Exactly. Huh? If I was a fag, I would be the fucker. Okay, so.
Not the fucky.
Yeah, which is really weird because I get called fag all the time. And I'm like, I'm the fucking pit.
Just because I let him suck my dick one time doesn't mean I'm gay.
Yeah, what the fuck? He came in me once, for fuck's sakes.
Oh, god damn.
So he goes, these days, we have turned into this weird society of, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? Instead of just saying thank you, just saying, what's wrong is wrong. If somebody does something wrong, I don't care if you're black or white, whatever you are. If you did something wrong, you should own up to it, and that's what your videos are about. That's what the heart of your videos are about. If you do something wrong, at least admit it. Okay? Don't hide behind a bullshit culture or bullshit history. Don't hide behind that. Be a fucking grown-up. Be a fucking man, okay? Look at responsibility. I have more respect for people that take responsibility than hide like sheep behind each other, okay? And that's the beauty of your vids, where you sit there and go, this is wrong, this is why it's wrong, and this is why it will continue to be wrong unless we do something about it, okay? And
I say, what happened to masculinity?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Happened to manliness, testosterone? Yeah. What happened to?
No, if you have testosterone now, you're in trouble. Like now, like people will sit there and they'll go, I'm an angry dude. I got too much testosterone. No, I don't. You need, it's just common sense. If somebody does you wrong, okay? Somebody does you wrong. You don't sit there and go, well, what are you going to do? If I robbed your car, you go, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there with a baseball bat the next time I'm around and crack it over my skull because you're like, dude, don't touch my car, okay? Dude, that's just the way it is. That's how guys are. And we've turned into, hey, dude, you can't do that. You can't, that's wrong. That's not the way to behave. Dude, you want a girl to get wet? Beat the shit out of a guy in front of her, okay? Women love that. All women love that, okay? If they see you kick the fuck out of somebody, they get turned on. They look at you differently. And that's because that is thousands and thousands of years. Evolution. Yeah. A woman will look at a guy and go, will this guy protect me? That's all. Will this guy protect me if something goes horribly wrong? And that's the truth. And
that's why a lot of girls are attracted to the bad boy,
Yeah, they really are, because they're like, he's a rebel, he's that. But right. A girl will always be attracted to a guy. Like if you're at a bar with your wife, and a guy came up and tried to pick up your wife, and you're like, hey, dude, that's my wife. And the guy goes, yeah, whatever. And then you grab a beer and you slap it across his face. Your wife will sit there and say, hey, that was very wrong. You'll get into an argument in the car. But when you get home, she's going to fuck the shit out of you. Because it turns her on. You know what I mean? That's the way they're like, hey, he stuck up for me. He made sure that I'm safe. And these days, women are taught, and it's horrible, that you don't need a guy to stick up for you. You don't need that. You don't need a man. Well, okay, you don't, but it's good to have one. And when you see so many beta males, you've seen that video Tracy had where the one guy, he's talking about the Donald Trump rally, and the guy, long hair greasy guy yells out, because you're fucking white.
Right.
That guy needs his teeth smashed out of his mouth.
8 Skrillex. Oh, that guy represents millions of young Americans.
Yes, and that's why he needs the fucking shit knocked out of him. Okay? Yeah. He's an embarrassment to white people. He really is. He is an embarrassment. I totally believe this. When I watched...
Did you see how happy it was for that black dude to put his arm around him and say, yeah, this is my white friend. You mess with him, you mess with me. Like, that 8 Skrillex dude got so happy about that.
Yeah.
That was the most disgusting part to me.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yes, this black guy is noticing me.
Yeah. It's like a black guy. You ever have a black guy call you the N-word?
Yeah. Oh, plenty of times.
Yeah, and it's just like, the first time they call you that, you're like, shit, that's cool, but please don't. Right. It turns guys like that on. They think they're doing right when they're actually making things worse. They're not helping the situation. As much as we laugh about it, he is really not helping the situation. He is just making an excuse for people to behave like idiots. He thinks that if the black guy wraps his arm around him and says, "Hey man, you're one of you're one of us," well, a 60-year-old black man would be embarrassed of him. He would just say, right, you're a clown. You're a white honky fucking idiot. You don't understand, and you don't. You really don't understand what's been taking place here. Once you start giving people excuses to behave like idiots, to hate police, like the video that you had where they're giving fingers to the police. I just got a ticket the other day.
Right in their face.
Right
in the cop's face.
Right in their face. Okay.
Saying, fuck the cops.
Yeah. Fuck you. Right in front. What is? I mean, we are being told. When I was a child, I was told to respect. Okay.
Police are so afraid to do anything because
they got cameras all over the place.
If they react, they're racist, and now they're under investigation.
Yeah. The police have the worst job on the planet these days. They do. They really, really do, man. I mean, I could not. I would be in jail because I would just pull out the gun and just shoot. I couldn't handle. I couldn't handle it. I already know I can't handle.
When I got out of the military, I was going to be a cop.
Well, you'd make a great cop.
I was security forces for the military for a year. I did that for a year after when I got out of the active duty. I was in the guard, and I was looking into being a cop. I could have walked onto any police force in a 50-mile radius of my house.
Right.
But I decided against it because that's when all the bullshit started coming up. All the Black Lives Matter, all that crap. Trayvon Martin first.
Yeah.
I said, nope, I ain't doing that shit.
We would make good cops if we were in the 70s. Like, that's what I always think. I think, fuck, man, I would get away with everything.
Hey, I want to say this. See what you think about this. Okay, right off the top of my head, I can name a dozen black guys that follow me, watch my videos, that are completely on board. They understand what's going on. They don't play that victim mentality. They actually call out those black people that do. And that, I absolutely love that shit. But I don't want to come off as condescending, like a low expectations or something.
Not at all. Hug those people. Hug them.
I want to express that is amazing. I love it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally.
I don't want people to say, "Oh, you're propping him up because he's black."
No, that is because you know what happens after a while when the videos that you're doing, you start questioning yourself. You're going, "What the fuck? What is wrong with people?" When I get so much hate, it's like, "What the fuck is wrong with that?" And then you have people that vindicate you, that sit there and say, "Hey man, thank you for doing that. Okay? Thank you. that is wonderful. That is something that at least gives you food, where it gives you nourishment to sit there and say, cool, I'm not just banging my head against the wall here. I'm getting through to people.
Yeah, I
And
don't do it for the money.
yeah, you
Obviously,
don't. And I want to say that right now, guys. We're talking to the non-believer on the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast. Uh, Subscribe to him. He never, and he doesn't do the PayPal. He always sits there.
I do have a PayPal,
Oh,
but
do
I
you?
never advertise it.
But you never advertise it. So
Yeah.
I want you to advertise it. Well, he does have a. Anyways, I want you guys to check out his vids. I want you to PayPal him because he deserves a Maserati. And
It's PayPal.me/the non-believer. If
okay, well,
just throwing out.
you're gonna give me that link, and then I'm gonna put it at the end of this video so people could go straight to your PayPal. Plus, I'm gonna put a link to your YouTube page, and that way people can go and check out your videos and see what you do. And I just want to say, hey, man, you are, and people, I don't want people to think I'm condescending. People are like, when I was talking to Mark Ebner the one day, the guy goes, man, you were sucking his dick. I love Mark Ebner. I'm sorry. I love the man's work. Okay? When I enjoy somebody, I enjoy their company. When I talk to you, it means that I like you. Okay?
Right.
When I subscribe to you, I really try my best to look at your vids. Okay? I really do because I enjoy your fucking work. Okay? I think it's important. Okay? So if people think I'm sucking your dick, I don't give a fuck. Okay? I think it's very important to educate yourself, to go out there and look at this shit and make up your own mind, and especially the stuff that you talk about that people don't want to touch. Very few people touch and execute it the way you do. Okay? And I wish I had your style of execution of like I would love to do stuff like your videos, but I just don't have the skill.
It's definitely acquired.
It is.
I wasn't born like this. It's just something.
No, and if people listen, that's the thing. If people listen to, I mean, we haven't even tipped the iceberg, but if people watch the vids, you'll know the background of non-believer. You'll know what he went through.
I made a compilation video.
Yes. There.
For people who don't know me, they can go watch that. It's like 30 minutes long.
Yes.
And they could get a good feeling for my channel.
Yeah, but there's other stuff there too. There's other vids too that are really great. That are more personable. That tell the story of you, and people got to check that out. So, what's your Twitter plug? Tell me what's coming up.
All right, my Twitter is at In No God We Trust, and I don't do Facebook or anything like that, but I'm pretty active on Twitter.
Yeah.
You're gonna put the link to my channel.
Yes, I'll do that. And what vids you got coming up next?
Right now, I'm working on a video, basically pointing out all of the big-time Muslim YouTubers who are calling to take down people's channels that speak out against Islam, like that. What's that kid's name? Amos Yee. You ever heard of him?
Is he a little Chinese guy?
He's son of a bitch.
Is he like a crazy?
Not Filipino. Starts with it. Singapore. He's from Singapore.
And does he have long black hair and he's kind of little guy? Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah. So there's this one guy named Adam, very popular YouTuber. He has 2 channels with over 1 million subscribers. He's a Muslim, and he did a rebuttal on Amos Yee's channel, and he told his 1 million and something subscribers to go flag Amos's video to take it down.
Yeah.
And Amos is facing up to 3 years in prison in Singapore for his video.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's a totalitarian government, and you can't.
Yeah, I know, and I don't know what's gonna happen to that little guy. Like I'm worried for him.
He's 17 years old, man, and he's just he's over the top on purpose, and I love it. Some
No,
people
I know,
watch it
but
like, oh my god, he's so offensive. That's the point. That's the
yes,
entire point.
yeah, but here's the thing. I don't want this. I don't. To go to jail at 17 for this because some cocksucker doesn't like your true videos. Fuck you.
He
You
ripped
know.
some pages out of a book, the Quran,
Yeah. So what?
and yeah, it's a fucking book.
Yeah.
There's 10 billion of those printed on the planet.
Yeah. No, I know, but that's the thing. You know what will happen? You know what they see? They see what has happened to Christian religion, where if you could draw a picture of Jesus, naked, and no one cares anymore. I mean, 100 years ago, you'd go to jail, but uh, these days, you can make a Catholic joke, you could make a Jewish joke, you could do that, and they know that once you let the jokes come in, and you let that slip. Like I remember growing up, and there was a time when you never made fun of the president. Okay, like late night TV, there was Johnny Carson. They would barely, if they'd make fun of Reagan or a president or whatever, it was very lightly, you know, and they had to be very careful about making fun of somebody like the president, because there was this thing where you just don't make fun of the president. There's some honor there. These days, every fucking day, it's about the president. There's a joke about Trump. There's a joke about Hillary. There's memes of her giving birth to that fucking buffalo.
Right,
I mean,
right.
back then you would go to jail for that in the
But
70s.
Islam is so protected
Yes,
because
exactly.
of fear.
Yes,
Fear.
exactly. So they will put the fear in you. Well, you will back up because they'll go, like this guy will sit there and go, 1 million people could hit you. Guess what? You sit there and go, you know what? It's not worth it. Fuck it. Let somebody else do it because they put the fear in you, man. And
Look,
that is
four,
bullshit.
4 or 5 years ago, before I got into all of this, there was a very popular radio show host where I live. He's out of Tampa. He used to be on XM radio. His name is Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Bubba the Love Sponge.
Yeah, he was friends with Howard Stern.
Yeah, he let Hogan screw his wife. I remember.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's out of Tampa, right down the road from me, and he was going to burn a Quran live on air.
Right.
Well, the feds or somebody reached out to him, and they strongly encouraged him not to. They didn't say he couldn't do it, but they told him that he shouldn't. And that put so much heat on him that he didn't. And he ended up burning a bunch of fucking Bibles instead.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to burn a Quran? That is nuts. I remember thinking how crazy it was.
Right.
Because that was put into us to fear the Muslims, their backlash. People are going to die across the world if he burns those Qurans.
Yeah.
And that is crazy.
That is.
So that means we should speak up about it, not stop speaking up about it.
Yeah, I know. And that's why I love your shit. You speak up about it and you don't back down, and you're a warrior, and you were in the military, and I want to thank you for your service too. I forgot to tell you that. But you're a tough dude and you got a big heart, and I think there needs to be more people like that, like you, and I hope you inspire, and I know you inspire others to follow that warrior mentality, to do what's right, to do what is moral, to do what just do good, man. Be good.
Look, I appreciate it, Vito, and I am pushing for true equality.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
People
what.
don't understand that. I don't think black people should have their own television program. I don't think that they should have be in the Oscars if they don't earn it. If they're
Right. Yeah,
not in
no,
the best movie, they shouldn't get handicap points because they're black.
Right.
I want true equality all around the board between all human beings.
Yes.
I don't see white people as superior to blacks or Mexicans, nothing. But I get called a racist so much.
I know, and it's sickening. I see it.
It's not going to stop me, though. It's not going to stop me. It just fuels me.
Yes.
And
I love it though, because I know your mentality. You're like, you don't back down, and I love that about you. And I just sit there and go, I look at this stuff on Twitter, and I told you today I got into an argument with a fucking loser. Um, I get it all the time too, and it's just I when I said it to you, you're like, hey dude, I get 8 of those a day, and it kind of I felt bad for you. I go, fuck man, you know. But it's like, no, that's that you just brush that shit off, you know.
I
It's
want to
just
give a shout out
it's
to my wife.
yeah, go on.
She's Atheist MILF on Twitter at Atheist MILF MILF, just like Mama I like to fuck.
Okay.
And today, yesterday and today, she's been tweeting back and forth to a famous rapper who's got over 1 million followers on Twitter, and she got tweeted to by a Twitter bot saying that she was the 4th most mentioned person at that time. It's an automation system, so that means on Twitter, all of Twitter, she was the 4th most mentioned person because she was tweeting back and forth with this guy with 1 million followers.
Oh, that is wicked.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. I mean, she's really moving up the ladder. She has over double the Twitter followers as me.
Well, what the fuck am I talking to you for?
Yeah, I know, right? She's
Well,
the famous one.
Hey man, you're a great team. Okay, I know who you're talking about, and I didn't want to bring her up because I wanted the interview to be about you. But she is great too. Okay, I didn't want to, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
no, it's cool, man. My wife's awesome, bro.
no, she is, and she's very beautiful, and I'm very
Married 10 years in November.
congratulations. That is a record in this day and age.
I know, right?
It's scary, man. I've every person I've gone to school with, I grew up with, I talk to them, and fucking like 80% of them are, divorced now, and
Right.
it's weird because I was friends with the wife too, so it's kind of like, I'm like, oh fuck, this is a mess, like
There was probably a 5% chance that we would have made it this long because she was 18 when we got married and I was 22.
right.
She's 28 and I'm 32 now. So
Yeah, but that's not a big difference.
no, it's not. But because we started so young,
Yeah.
a lot of marriage, that's a disaster.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. And I see that too. And you're one of you're lucky. You love her. She loves you. You're lucky because people at that age, after about 4 or 5 years, they grow up and they always think the grass is greener on the other side, or something happens where you just fall out of love with that person, and that's just you see that, and it just when you ever see like old people and they're like, I've been married to the same person for like 60 years and we got married when she was 16 and I was 18.
Yeah, I love that, man.
I love that. I really do. I think that is so cool. But then you find out years later that he used to go to the whorehouse every other weekend. So that's why it worked. So if they would allow us just to go to the whorehouse once in a while,
That's the ticket.
that's the ticket. And we don't need to tell everybody. That's the problem. These days, you got Ashley Madison telling everybody where the fuck you been. So that's why, man. We should have been cops. We should have been partners in the 70s. That would have been awesome.
Right. We would have them nice mustaches.
Yeah, like the porn mustache. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be fucking awesome. We'd drive around in a Challenger and do coke, and it'd be fucking a
Pull
dream.
over, hang out outside a strip club and wait till the strippers get off work.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They drank and they're all coked up.
Yeah.
And then
And
we
not-
pull them over and we're like, "Excuse me, ladies, have you been drinking?
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, here we go." Vito
what
wants
can
his,
I do? What can I do to get out of it, officer?"
and I'm like,
Okay, well, zip.
zip. I know, you read my mind. You see, this is why we were born in the wrong fucking time. Just one last question I want to ask you, and I do this to everybody. If you had a time machine, where would you go? You could only do that once. You could only go one. You could go and come back. What would you do if you had a time machine?
Probably either the beginning of life to witness that,
Mm-hmm.
or, because that way I could answer one of the biggest questions
Yeah.
to humans. talking about more reasonable, where I would probably like to go to. I mean, like the medieval times and stuff would have been cool, but too much fucking death and disease and stuff from then.
Right.
So it would have to be a more modern time. But I always wanted to grow up in the 50s.
Yeah,
Be
yeah.
like a teenager in the 50s.
No, I know. Like, I grew up.
Yeah.
You've seen the show Happy Days, right?
Yeah.
That to me was just like I just wish society was like that. I really do. I,
Because my grandpa has some
yeah.
of the best stories, and he was a teenager in the 50s.
Yeah, where you got a rat rod, you go to a diner, you don't, I mean, there wasn't story of
Yeah.
cocaine.
It was post World War II
Yeah.
and before the Korean War in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So in that time, man, that decade, it was probably pretty good.
Yeah, it was. It truly was. And
Music was great. Rock and roll first started.
yeah, you had women.
Oh yeah, some of the hottest women ever.
Yeah,
too,
but they weren't like back then. Like you couldn't even. I mean, if you got a kiss, that'd be like getting laid.
Right.
These
it's like
days,
third base.
yeah, like these days, it's like, what'd you do today? Well, I got AIDS. They're like, you know what I mean? Like these days, it's just a complete fucking mess. Like compared to back then, it's just night and day.
Well, there was more modesty.
Yeah.
If you saw a woman's upper thigh, it's like, holy shit, you'd come in your pants.
Yeah, yeah, you really would. And these days, it's like if you saw an ass, you'd be like, fuck, she could lose a bit of poundage.
Yeah, because now if you Google like booby trap because you want to make one in your backyard, I mean, all you're gonna do is get tons of pictures of tits. It's just we're so desensitized
I
to
know.
a lot of things.
That's the truth. We are desensitized. I saw somebody put up a meme of the whatchamacallit, the kid died in Orlando, the crocodile. I don't want to end it on a bad note, but he died of a crocodile killed him in Disneyland, right? Or it was an alligator.
Disney World.
Yeah, Disney World, and I guess it was an alligator, and somebody put up, hey, too soon? And I'm like, and I just saw the news of the parents just devastated, and I'm like, yeah, like I like a good joke, but a kid was fucking eaten by an alligator. I don't find that funny at all. Like if I was my kid, it was,
snatched them right from under their parents' nose. The dad was fighting with the alligator and got injured.
Yeah, and I don't get it. And people, like we're talking about last night, and it's like, who finds that funny? Like, I just don't.
Oh, what people were talking about as soon as it happened was, they gave the black parents a lot of scrutiny over the gorilla incident, the kid falling into the gorilla pit.
Yeah.
But nobody is mentioning the bad white people, their parenting skills.
Yeah.
Like, it's all about race to everybody, everything.
And
it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's not only that, it's just the meanness in people. And people think we're mean, and we actually have the biggest hearts on the planet. It's like you feel for this fucking kid's family. Are you kidding me? There's think about.
That had nothing to do with parenting.
No,
was
it's
not
just
bad parenting.
just a horrible thing happened, man.
How could they think that they were in danger? They're at Disney World, at the Grand Floridian Hotel, which I've stayed in multiple times because I live 15, 20 minutes from Disney.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah. So my stepdad, when I was growing up, he worked there for 25 years, so we got him free. We would go to Disney like 20 times a year.
You'd get in for free?
Yeah, you could get 5 people in for free.
Holy shit, that is amazing.
I think it was like 12 times a year you could get 5 people in for free.
Holy shit, that is amazing. And you went to, I've only ever been there once.
I've been to Disney probably 100 times.
Oh, you lucky fuck. I love Disneyland.
I used to work at Wide World of Sports when I was a teenager.
Wide World of Sports? Like, all I remember is the Wide World of Sports.
It's owned by Disney. It's a sports complex where they host tournaments, national tournaments for, like, girls volleyball. That was always the best. I loved working that.
Right. Month. See the chicks with the tits. But I didn't know that you've been there over 100 times. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. Well, folks, you've been listening to the Wrecking Crew Comedy Podcast. We've been sitting there talking to the Non-Believer. I want to say thank you so much, Non-Believer. And
no problem, bro. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Folks, Be good to each other. Stay good. Be good. Do good. I'm Vito D'Amico. Good night.